morning, everyone. We want to welcome you to Kensington Cooks live with Chef Morissa at Kensington Park. We hope you're doing well this morning, and I'm very proud to have our very first Kensington Cooks live webinar for you all this morning. I want to hand it over to our Executive Director, Mary Mel, who will be introducing Morissa and Trevor, our stars this morning. So I'm going to pass it over to them.
Connor. And we are excited today to have the first of 4 live demonstrations. We will wear our masks throughout the presentation because we do have a live audience with us today. But Chef Morissa has a passion for food, and it began at an early age, cooking beside her father. She then pursued her interest and attended Johnson and Wales Culinary Institute. And, you know, she makes a difference for our community day in, day out with new creative ideas. And we are looking forward to today's presentation. And she does have, alongside her, we'll have Trevor Connor, who's our Director of Resident Services. And he will also be the sous chef and bartender during this presentation. So without further ado, we welcome all of you, and live is Chef Morissa. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kensington Cooks. We're very happy to have all of you here. Today's menu is not necessarily fall related, but it's a ode to kind of a goodbye to summer and welcome to fall with all the beautiful flavors. Everything we're making has very strong flavors, and which you can have at any time of the year. It doesn't necessarily have to be summer or fall, but it's kind of a goodbye as this weather has changed on us rather rapidly. But if, you know, the weather's nice one day and this is something you want to kind of bring back, the sun shines out, you can do so. So we're going to start with one of my favorites, which is an overnight oatmeal, which I know some people, they live by this. This is one of their go-to morning breakfasts or a brunch item, and some people may have no idea. But this is something that I love in my household. I can make it overnight, eat it in the morning. I can make it a couple of days in advance. It's still good, and it's going to last you a couple of days. So first, I'm going to start with steel cut oats, works best versus instant, and it's healthier. So start with my steel cut oats, and to that I have some chia seeds, which are healthy, and they also add some texture. Once they sit overnight, the oatmeal technically, they don't necessarily cook, but they will become wet with all the wet ingredients, as do the chia seeds, and they just have a very nice texture. The creaminess, and we're going to put some Greek yogurt, we're going to put some almond milk in there, and it's almost like a cold porridge consistency. It may be your thing, it may not be your thing, but I happen to love it. So we're going to add the chia seeds. We're going to add some fresh lemon juice. You can add some lemon zest. Blueberries and lemon are one of my favorite combinations. They go well. Spectacular. They're just absolutely a beautiful combination together. So you can add some lemon zest for extra zing or not. I will add a little pinch of salt, a little bit of vanilla extract. And this is so easy. I have my 4-year-old daughter help me sometimes make this because her favorite thing to do, she'll tell you, is I love mixing. I love mixing. So this is something very easy. This is Greek yogurt. You can get it anywhere, non-fat, Greek yogurt, plain, no sugar added, because we are going to add some honey to this, so you don't need any extra sweeteners. Unless that's something you want, you can add it, but then it'll kill the whole healthy thing. So I'm just gonna add that, and you can add, and with the yogurt, you can also add, if you're lactate intolerant or just omit dairy from your, you just don't eat dairy, you can add other substitutes for that as well. I'm gonna add some almond milk, you can add soy milk, you can have oat milk, goat's milk, whatever milk you choose, but you do need a liquid, preferably milk, to kind of bind everything together. You can make this as dry or as wet as you want. I prefer a little bit on the wet side. Like I said, it's gonna be like a porridge consistency. And I'm just gonna show you all what it's gonna start looking like. I do have the recipe for all of you, but I'm not a big recipe follower. I like to taste along the way, and I like to just look and feel from consistency purposes. So, and just remember, all the oats are gonna absorb overnight. So it will, you might wanna add a little bit more liquid than you typically would. We're also gonna add to this some honey for sweetness and blueberries, which depending on the part of the year, they can be sweet or sour, but the honey will help with the sweetness. Additionally, we're gonna add fresh blueberries, which you can use frozen if you're making this in the winter and the blueberries are obviously not gonna be as sweet as in the summertime. If you do use frozen blueberries, you are gonna wanna just limit the amount of liquid milk that you put in, because the frozen blueberries will extract some liquids. And the frozen blueberries will also make a pretty purple as well. So you're just gonna mix it. I hope you all can see. It's just a wet combination. I'm gonna add it to a mason jar. I know a lot of us are used to, having friends and family over, and that might not be the case with COVID right now, unfortunately. So why not pamper yourself and make things for you and your family that maybe you wouldn't make unless you were having guests over. So we don't need guests. We can do this ourselves. So we're just gonna add it to here. And I do like to just, I think I'm Rachel Ray today. So I'm gonna have my finished product. And this is what it's gonna look like after it sits. You can see the chia seeds in here. They're gonna add a nice crunch. I finished it with some fresh blueberries, and I can put some more. And I have a nice little zest of lemon for some color, and your family will be so impressed. So that's our first overnight oatmeal. And we have extra to make, you can make it, obviously this is kind of a large portion, so whatever size suits you. But this is one of my favorites, and I just wanted to share with all of you. So I hope you enjoyed that.
Thank you very much. Like you said, this might be something that may be too much. You can have something smaller. Something like that is perfect for me. In fact, probably when this taping is done, I'm going to go ahead and take this on home. But it's like she said, as far as like the oatmeal and it being healthy, I know for me, especially with this whole COVID thing, everybody staying at home, the focus on health really has played a big part. If you haven't noticed this, maybe even in your own home, in regards to what is it that you're eating, how is it that you're eating? Some people are not getting out of the house as much. And so the drive to try to watch the calories in the beginning was a lot less. In fact, it's so funny, I went to Target the other day to get a weight scale, and there was hardly any on the shelf. And that's because a lot of people are now trying to focus on how they eat now and what their weight is looking like. So definitely going with oats is something really healthy. My wife, I know, would love this. I'm actually gonna try this. I haven't always been so much the healthy one. In fact, when she was talking about the sweetness, that's me. In fact, anybody that knows me, I like anything sweet, all right? So oats wasn't so much my thing. Cream of wheat is really mine. I don't know. In fact, maybe even in the chat, you guys write in there your preference, oatmeal or cream of wheat. All right, mine has always been cream of wheat from my grandma when I was a little kid, and I still make it today. And yes, I put sugar in it, probably a little bit more than I need to. Okay, but yes, that's definitely it's going to be a healthier option with this, with the blueberries. I wonder maybe I might even put in some other type of fruit as well, like maybe either raisins or something like that. I know that it's looking at what Marissa's doing here. She has these avocados, and I love avocado. Raised vegetarian, family's vegetarian. I eat a little turkey, chicken, fish, but in my house, the rest of the family vegetarian. So avocados, great. You're really about to see what she's about to do with this, which is going to be some magic. So I'm going to let her go ahead and show you what she's about to do.
Thank you. And just to kind of go back to the overnight oats, you can do any fruit, any combination you choose. If blueberries, lemons are not your thing, then by all means, do whatever you like. You can put bananas, peanut butter, you can put cocoa powder. Anything really is going to have some kind of nutritional benefit for you, and whatever you want is perfectly fine. So we're starting with our avocado toast. So once again, we have smoked salmon that we're going to do on top of our avocado toast. This is also one of my favorites because you can really be as creative as you want. You don't have to, you can put whatever toppings you want. If you wanted bacon, if you are not, if smoked salmon, you know, some people don't have an acquired taste for that, that's perfectly fine. You can do whatever toppings you want, but avocado is definitely a very good healthy fat. It's good for you. Obviously, too much of anything is not great, but in moderation, it's very good for you and an alternate for any other kind of fat that you might have. Sorry, I'm making a mess. So I'm going to add avocado. We're just gonna mash it. We're gonna add some salt and pepper and some lemon juice. You do wanna add some kind of acid so your avocado does not oxidize, especially if you're making this overnight. I'm gonna add salt and pepper. And you can add lime juice, lemon juice, it doesn't matter. I have lemon, I'm using lemon for everything we're making today. So lemon juice it is. I just added, we're gonna make soft boiled eggs. So I just added to boiling water, eggs, and I'm gonna put it on a simmer now. And soft boiled eggs should take about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna have Trevor just watch the clock for me. So you can add Tabasco sauce to this, if you like things a little spicy. It also depends what other toppings you're putting on. It might not go so well with the smoked salmon, or so I know people that put hot sauce and everything, so it's really up to you. So we're going to just mix it. The avocados were not as ripe as I wanted to, but they're getting mushy, so we're good. So in addition to this, we're going to toast our bread. And, you know, we're all about treating ourselves the way we would treat our guests. That's kind of our concept right now, since we're not all having guests come over. So we're going to get a nice bread. You can use whatever you want. This is sourdough, but, you know, go to the bakery, find a nice bread. Obviously, you can use whatever kind of bread you choose, but find something nice, something crusty. We're just gonna toast it once our eggs are done. And this, like I said, is one of my favorites in my family. I feel like a lot of things are our favorites in our family, but in the meantime, I'm going to just peel. You can do whatever it is you want for garnish or for texture. But I'm just going to, instead of dice the tomato or slice it, it's fun to kind of have these different ways to do things that maybe you go to a restaurant and you see these fancy things and you're like, oh my gosh, how did they do that? They did it with a peeler. That's how they peel the cucumber and make it fancy. So we're just peeling the cucumber, which we're gonna layer our toast. And we're just gonna peel it. And we're gonna add our smoked salmon. And smoked salmon goes very well with dill. So I have some dill, and I have some red onion, which that goes well as well, and lemon.
No, it's
How are
about
we?
time.
Time, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
3 more minutes.
3 more minutes, okay.
Yeah, I love avocado. In fact, when I was a kid, even until this day, I make avocado sandwiches. And it could just be the avocado slices and mayonnaise, some white salt, and that was it. That's all, and I could eat like 2 or 3 of those sandwiches. Now I add a little tomato, trying to also be a little healthier, not so much on the mayonnaise. But avocado sandwiches are great. So I'll definitely be having some of those if there's any leftover avocado.
Yeah, so smoked salmon and red onion are one of my favorites. And typically I'll eat that with cream cheese, but avocado, like I said, is a great substitute for anything. Sometimes I put it on my sandwiches instead of mayonnaise. I use avocado, make a nice spread. You can put it in your tuna fish instead of mayonnaise. It's just a nice healthy fat instead of using sour cream or something heavy like mayonnaise. How are we on time, Chad?
About 2.
2 minutes, okay. We just have to toast our bread and then we're gonna put everything together. So anytime you're making eggs like this, we're gonna shock them. That means we're just gonna throw them in an ice bath. We're gonna get them cold as possible, obviously, so I can handle them. We're gonna have to peel them. Then we're gonna cut them and start layering our toast, okay?
It's almost about maybe a minute left.
Okay.
So I don't know how often. Well, you said this is one of your favorites. Does your child or your husband nudge you and say, "Mommy, can I make some like avocado toast or some of even the oatmeal or something like that?" Do you get like requests?
Yeah, I'll get requests sometimes. I think there's a lot of favorites in our family, so some tend to outweigh others. But yes, they do request, and we do different things. You know, eggs, I'm doing a soft-boiled egg, but you can do a poached egg, a fried egg, scrambled eggs, or you can omit the egg if that's not what you want. You can put whatever you want on it. But I just happen to love the flavors of it all, and it's all good fat, good proteins, and you have your vegetables with the cucumbers and the onions.
All right, they should be ready.
Okay, let's hope for the best. All right, so I'm just gonna stick them in the ice bath. And while they're cooling down, I'm just gonna get a pan hot. I just put a little bit of olive oil, and we're just gonna toast our bread. I just prefer a nice bread that has a nice crust to it for a nice crunch. Just gonna get this hot, and then we're gonna start layering. Trevor, I don't know if you want to get fancy today and help me layer, but you're more than welcome.
Yes, please. Sure. I want to be able to go home and press my wife and say, "Baby, I can layer." Watch this.
So we're just gonna add the bread, and obviously we just want to have just a little bit of color, nothing crazy, just for a good extra crunch. This would be good on a bagel. It doesn't have to be, you know, just a loaf of bread, a bagel, even an English muffin, some challah, whatever it is you want, whatever your favorite. All right, Trevor. I'm gonna have you smear the avocado, and it's just gonna be a thin layer on the toast as it comes out. Okay.
If I was making mine, I'd have like a thick layer, probably about this much on the toast. Probably a whole avocado itself. Okay. Is there anything that that goes well that you would have with the avocado toast to complement it, or something else with the meal? aside from just the avocado toast?
Like food-wise
Yes.
or drink?
Food-wise.
Well, for me, nice crispy bacon goes with anything. I know Trevor doesn't eat pork, but
Correct.
that's kind of my favorite. Anytime you have like a fat, like the avocado, it pairs well with something salty or something sweet. So saltiness from the bacon with something fatty is like a great, I don't have a lot of combinations, but it's a great combination. So even, the sourness or the sweetness from the blueberries go with the tart lemon. The avocado is creamy, it's rich, it's fatty, goes very well with bacon. And it goes very well with the smoked salmon. It's salty. This is creamy. So we're just toasting this, if that helped you. But bacon is my go-to for everything.
Bacon. Yeah, some of you might be familiar with Morningstar meat alternatives or substitutes. Yeah, thanks.
Just a little smear.
And we use what's called strickles, which is what some people would say fake bacon.
That's perfect.
That's good?
Yep.
Okay.
That doesn't sound good.
Yeah, trust me, it doesn't taste like bacon. I know sometimes I mistakenly had it and I said, oh, wow, this is what I've been missing? Oh, man, that's good. That's good. Okay.
So you're just layering. You put as much or as little as you want. I know smoked salmon is like a delicacy, so, a little does go a long way, but I know most people, they want a good amount of smoked salmon.
Man, that looks delicious.
Trevor, have you had smoked salmon before?
Oh yeah, I eat smoked. So that's about the only one that I will eat almost like with sushi, like what is it, the Philly rolls that have salmon and cream cheese for sushi.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks delicious.
So, as I mentioned, we're being fancy and to ourselves because we're not having guests over like we used to. So we're just gonna garnish it beautifully. Oh, I forgot my egg. We'll finish with the egg. The egg is the feature anyway. So I have some fresh dill. Dill goes very well with smoked salmon. These are just some little microgreens. They just add a beautiful color, a beautiful finish. I hope you all can see this. You just want to make sure every bite, everyone can taste. It looks beautiful, but we're going to add our egg. And I think these are going to be cooked perfectly.
All right. While you do that, you don't mind, I'm gonna try to see if I can let them see this a little bit up close. I'm gonna just take this right over to the camera. I don't know if you can see that, how well that displays, but it looks delicious. Wish you were here to try it, but next time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right, well, I'll finish these off, Trevor. Like, it is a soft-boiled egg, so there will be some gooing going on over the bread and everything, but you really want that goo. So I don't know if you can see, a little bit of the white fell off, but it's gooey. Some people don't like the goo. Some people want it all over the place, running all over. And that's part of why you have, a lot of people like to dip their bread in their eggs. Some people don't. I know my friend Valerie, she wants her egg cooked all the way. But it's really preference, and you're cooking for you and your family, so you know what they like. This is falling apart. We're gonna have you one more, and then Trevor, I'm gonna have you taste it.
Mm-hmm.
You can, if you want, Trevor, you can just add a little more garnish.
Okay.
So you can practice for your family.
Yes, I'm the food decorator now. A little touch.
That's too much.
That's too much. See that? I'm messing up already.
Just a little spritz. Yep.
put that there. Mhm. Alright. Look for this one.
This is live TV, so next time I'll pre-cook it. But you get the whole idea of the goo. And there you have it. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. And
Wow.
Trevor,
Can I now?
you're gonna make a mess, but, and I don't have a plate.
That's all right.
Just tell me what you think.
That's delicious. Okay, this show is over.
Okay, so we're gonna get ready for our final round, which is our cocktail. You can't have a brunch without a cocktail, right? Right. So I'm gonna get that ready. Trevor can continue to tell you how good it is.
Oh yes, this is really good. I'm gonna just put that to the side there for later. And definitely, you know, when you have something that's on your table, as good as this with the oatmeal, with the salmon and the avocado, you always want to be able to wash it down with something that just really complements and hits the back of your throat. That's what we're really about to get into. One thing I always tell my wife and my kids, because they're the healthy ones. I'm not so much when it comes to eating, but you know, family needs balance, right? There's always an opposite. And so that's me. So they drink water with everything. I mean, throughout the day, it's water, and great for them. I'm happy that I have 3 healthy people in my house. The kids, they don't drink soda. They don't even want it. So I'm okay with that. But me, whenever I eat, I have to have some juice, some soda, something. Water is for when, you know, they say drink 8 glasses of water a day. That's something separate. That's not something that necessarily goes with my meal. Kind of like some of you understand that with wine that complements whatever it is that you're eating. And so for me, I have to have some other type of juice or soda, or like what we're doing here with a little lemon vodka. And so what we're going to do here is what's known by a lot of people as half and half, or Arnold Palmer. You go to a restaurant, you ask for Arnold Palmer, and I remember hearing that, and I was like, why is it called Arnold Palmer? Like, who is Arnold Palmer? And some of you may already know the history, but Arnold Palmer actually was a golfer, and one day in a restaurant, he just simply said, you know what, can I just have about half iced tea and about maybe a third of lemonade? And from that moment, there was another lady in the restaurant or sitting across. She said, yeah, I'll have an Arnold Palmer. And he was like, wait, what? And from that moment, they actually started the name Arnold Palmer. In fact, in 2012, besides Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, he was the most paid golfer at 83. And that's because Arizona, you know, the tea, they make the juice in the cans. They actually coined that Arnold Palmer and paid him, I think that year, it's like $36 million. So just off of that. So wait, I'm going to come up with a juice called the Trevor Connor. I haven't made it yet, but trust me, at some time down the line, it's going to be great.
So before we start, when I came up with the menu, I chose to name this a half and half. So Connor thought it had to do with cream. So ironically enough, it doesn't. So I'm originally from Baltimore, and in Baltimore, we have a drink called half and half. So if you go to any restaurant, fast food, and you order half and half, they automatically know it's half iced tea, half lemonade. So yes, Arnold Palmer
Mhm.
came up with the name, but in Baltimore we say half and half. So it's just also a little ode to where I came from. And it also goes very well with our brunch items that we have because it's very brunchy, it's very light, and it has the lemon, which is featured in all of our dishes. So we are today using freshly brewed unsweet iced tea. You can definitely choose to use sweet tea, maybe if you're in the South and you grew up on that sugar, but we're using unsweet because we do have the lemonade, which is very sweet. So it's going to be half iced tea, half lemonade, and Trevor can talk more about this lemon vodka, but a shot of vodka, and it's going to just be shaken and served over ice, and it's very refreshing. And
Yeah.
Trevor?
So we're gonna go ahead and get started here. You have your shaker here, and we're gonna go ahead and just fill that with ice here. There we go. That should be enough. And you know, again, like Morissa doesn't do well with recipes. I don't either. I'm more so to taste. So you're just gonna have to find that great balance with that. So, if you would. Thank you. And there's different types of lemonade or lemon vodkas. I like Deep Eddy. There's Ciroc. There's some other ones, but this is what I go with. It's very smooth. We're going to go ahead and shake this. All right, that should be good. All right. There you go. Look at that. All right, I'll make one more.
I just put a little bit of ice. Everyone has their preferences at brunch. You know, Bloody Mary, that's an acquired taste. Mimosa. So, you know, whatever you're feeling, you know, maybe you don't want to go with the same routine drinks for your family. You want to jazz it up. So this is just something different. You know, I think most people like iced tea, most people like lemonade, and combine them together, and it's a beautiful thing.
In fact, those of you that are watching, if you want to put in the chat, put in there what is the drink that you usually like to have during, say, a brunch when you go out. So some of the people can get some other ideas, and I'll read those and maybe try one of yours. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Nice little colorful straws as well there. Give a little
Cheers,
color.
Trevor.
Cheers. All right.
Oh, that's good.
Oh, yeah. But
I
this
should
is
have had this
good.
before the segment. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Morissa and Trevor. And I did have a question from the audience. So Anne wanted to know, Morissa, if you had tips for peeling the best way to peel eggs and how to get the avocado out of the skin.
Okay, so peel the eggs. The best thing to do is, no lie, is to use a little bit of an older egg. For me, is the best. So sometimes I always have eggs. I buy the 18 count, but I always have a backup. So not that they're expired or anything, but the older the egg is, the easier it is to peel. That's tip number one. And then the avocado, the only reason I had trouble is because I had to buy the bag. They didn't sell them individually at the grocery store yesterday. So I had to buy the bag, and I prayed overnight that they would ripen, and not so much. But you just take a spoon and dig it out. You press it as close to the skin as possible, and it should come right out. It depends what you're using it for. Some people slice it while it's still in the shell and cut it up. and then you can peel it and it comes out beautifully sliced or diced or whatever you want, or you just peel it out. Especially if you're using it for guacamole or doing a mash. It really doesn't matter how it comes out, but the best way is to use a spoon. And it should be semi-ripe, so it comes out easier. Hope that answered your question.
Yes, thank you, Morissa. And then we had, for the cocktails, we had a lot of Bloody Marys lovers out there. So maybe we'll have to do that next time. But we would just want to say thank you so much to Morissa. That looked delicious. And Trevor, we know it was delicious because you told us. And I want to do a special shout out to our audience. We have some of our residents in the audience there this morning. And I want to thank everybody for coming. And we are going to be sending out the recipes after this, so they're coming your way. And let us know if you need anything. And we hope you can join us for our next webinar on October 27th. We'll be making lunch, and we've got a great menu for you planned. But look at that beautiful dish, brunch from Morissa. Thank you so much. Bye-bye, everybody.